I really appreciate the rich discussion, the comments on both sides. A lot of the comments were made a year ago when we had a robust conversation as well, and I appreciate those, and I think that's a sign that we've been discussing this, we've been debating it, we've been hearing each other, we've been listening to each other. You know, when someone was saying that this has been rushed, it was, you know, I almost had flashbacks of all of the thousands of hours of meetings that I've been in, and all of the stakeholders who've been at the table, from law enforcement groups to social justice groups to civil libertarian groups to the courts to probation. Last year when we discussed this, many of you said, hey, let's wait for the Chief Justice's Reform Work Group to come out with their report. Check. We did that. We listened to it. We've incorporated the comments and the insight and the input from that work group report into this bill. Some of you said, I'm concerned that law enforcement is opposed and they're not being heard. Would you be willing to talk to more law enforcement groups? Check. We did that. I heard a comment in discussion that lots of law enforcement and sheriffs from around the state are against this bill. So let's just be real clear. Judicial Council supports. Chief Probation Officers of California support. The California District Attorneys Association of California is neutral. The California Police Chiefs Association is neutral. The California Sheriff's Association is neutral. I'm not sure what the lots of law enforcement is and the sheriffs that you're talking about are, but those are the official positions on this bill. And to the extent those organizations are trying to strike the right balance between justice and safety and are looking out for community safety, they're comfortable with this bill. So this has been anything but rushed, and we have had stakeholders from all over the political spectrum, the experiential spectrum involved in discussions over thousands and thousands of hours and hundreds of meetings. The cost was mentioned. It is not inexpensive to create a fairer, more just system that relies on pretrial services and a risk assessment tool on the front end. We have learned from some of the best counties that have done this, that have implemented this. We don't need pilots. We've had pilots. We've had Santa Clara doing this. We've had San Francisco doing this. We've had Santa Cruz doing this. Almost 40 counties are using risk assessment tools and rely on them. So this is not time for a pilot. It's time to take the learnings and the teachings of what works on the ground every day in California and bring it statewide. It's ready for prime time now. We also, someone talked about detentions. There's going to be more, there's going to be less. There's going to be less, so it's going to be unsafe. All the dangerous people are going to get released and hurt us. There's going to be more, it's unfair. I think I heard a Republican colleague invoking the ACLU, first time I've heard that in a while. And what this bill does is it releases those who can safely be released. It has appropriate detentions. It reduces and seeks to eliminate inappropriate detentions, which is the hallmark of the current system. Detentions based on money are wrong. Now you'll have an opportunity to be evaluated for your safety risk. And if you cannot be released safely into the community, you won't be. But if you can, then you should be, and you will be, under this bill. A lot of the comments that I've heard seem to be animated by a commitment to the status quo. But just because it's been that way, even for a long time, doesn't mean it has to continue to be that way. Especially if it's a broken system, an unfair system, and an unsafe system. And yes, change requires courage, it requires leadership, and it requires us to be bold. And that's what I'm asking you to be today. We can't be paralyzed by the fear of change. I heard some of my colleagues say that. That's absolutely true. We are staring in the face the opportunity to fix what almost everyone in this room agrees is a fundamentally broken system. And to squander that opportunity would be wrong. We need to seize that opportunity. You can nitpick at this bill all you want. The perfect should not be the enemy of the good. This is good. This is a good bill. We can improve it over time also, because nothing's perfect. Perfect should be the aspiration. But this is a good bill that will end the suffering, the anguish, the pain, the victimization that has come from the current system. For those who have been unfairly incarcerated, for those who have been put at risk because the current system is unsafe. SB 10 is the right thing to do. It's the fair thing to do. It's the safe thing to do. I respectfully ask for your aye vote on SB 10.